Now, let's talk about prime numbers, okay? Definition for prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that have exactly two factors. Okay? We talked about yesterday how a factor times a factor equals a product. Okay? So what we're talking about today are the actual factors of numbers. Okay, so prime numbers are numbers that have exactly two factors. Okay, I'll go up there. Let's see here. Hang on. Whoops, misspelled product, didn't I? I'm going to go up here and put in. All right, now, the next thing is composite numbers. Okay, composite numbers are numbers that have more than two factors. Okay? So I'll give you some example of your first prime numbers. First few prime numbers are equal to 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19, and so on. Okay? Now, example of your composite numbers is 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, so on and so on. Okay? So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about prime and composite numbers, and we're going to talk about factors. Okay? Now, let's talk about prime numbers for just a second. As we look at the number 2, the only thing that you can multiply 2 by to get 2 is 2 times 1. Okay? 3 is equal to 3 times 1. 5 is equal to 5 times 1. Okay, so on and so forth. All right, that's why they're prime, because they only have two numbers. Okay, so let's go back up here to our definition. I'm going to add a sentence to the definition. Okay. Prime numbers are numbers that have exactly two factors. The two factors is the number 1 and itself. Oh, yeah, I did. I got too carried away with my O there, didn't I? All right, the two factors, I really, to be grammatically correct, probably need to put are there instead of is. Okay, so that's prime numbers. Okay, what we talked about yesterday with the rules for divisibility is going to enter into what we're going to do today. Today, they're going to basically do two things. They're going to give you a number, and they're going to want you to list all the factors of that number. Okay? For example, if we have the number 14, and they want to list all the factors of 14. And this is actually number 1 from your homework this evening. Okay, so all the factors of 14. Well, we know that 1 and the number itself are factors of every single number. Okay, so I can automatically start with 1, and I'm going to put its partner over here, 14. I always list them in their pairs. I would encourage you and almost require you to do the same thing. Okay? Now, here's where our rules for divisibility come into play. All right? I'm going to look at that number, and I want to know the next factor. Well, does 2 go into 14? Yes or no? Yes. Why does it go into 14? Quade. But why? Why? Let's see here. Judah. Why? Tayshawn. Thank you. 14 is an even number. That's why 2 goes into it. So 2 goes into it, and Quade told us that it goes in there 7 times. Okay? So now I go through my other test or rules. Okay? We want to know if 3 goes into it. Well, 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. 3 doesn't go into 5. So 3 doesn't go into it. The last 2 digits for 4 doesn't go into 14, so 4 doesn't go into it. 5 doesn't go into it. 6 doesn't go into it. The reason 5 doesn't go into it is because it doesn't end in 5 or 0. The reason 6 doesn't go into it is because 2 and 3 don't go into it. Only 2 does. Okay, so that's it. That's all your factors. If you got a big space like I got there, it doesn't really matter. That doesn't affect it. Okay? So, let's look at another one. Number 8. No, number 7. Number 7 is the number 48. And they want me to list all the factors. Well, first of all, we go with the 1 in 48. This is what I need a little bit more space for. Okay? Well, then we look at 2. 2 goes into every even number, so 2 does go into 48. How many times does it go into 48, Jacob? Okay, let's think. No. Think about it. See it in your mind. How many times does 2 go into 4? How many times does 2 go into 4? 2 times, so I'm going to put a 2 right there. Was there any remainder left? No. So how many times does 2 go into 8? 2 goes into 8. 2 times what equals 8? There you go. So it goes 24 times. Okay. All right, next we said 4 plus 8 is equal to 12. Well, 3 goes into 12, so 3 will go into that number. 3 goes into 48 how many times, Tayshawn? Hey, do it like I just told him to do that one. Okay, 3 goes into 4 how many times? 1 time with the remainder of what? Okay, so I'm going to put the 1 next to the 18. 3 goes into 18 how many times? There you go. You found it, 16. Okay? Start doing that in your head, folks, and it'll help you. And trust me, it'll help you a whole bunch. Okay? Don't panic if you don't know right away what to multiply it by. Just simply do that division in your head. All right, the next one is 4. Does 4 go into 48? Yes, it does. 4 goes into 48 how many times, Nikki? 12 times. Okay? Now, what about 5? No, because it doesn't end in 5 or 0. How about 6? It has to because 2 and 3 go into it. 6 times what equals 48? 8. There they are, all your numbers. Okay, I want you to do this one on your own. Number 8 is 51. 51. I want to know all the factors of 51. Go through your test for divisibility. If you don't have them memorized, then look back at your notes or your book. I have mine memorized. When you think you have the answer, raise your hand. All right, who has an answer for me? Nikki? What? Yes, that's 2 of them. Is there any more? We do know it's 1 in 51. Quade, what do you think? 1, 3, 11, 6, 1. Closer. 3 is 1, but 11 is not. Judah? No. Nick?
1, 3, 7, and 51.
No. Not 7. Brittany? So what did you multiply 3 by to get 51? Well, then it can't be the correct answer. You know 3 goes into it because 5 plus 1 is 6. But I got to know the partner for 3. Lily Darling. No, not 5 and 25. Cameron. Thank you. 1, 3, 17, and 51. Okay? 3 goes into it 17 times. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and tell you that the number 51 will show up on probably your next 3 tests. You'll either have to list the factors, tell me if it's prime or composite, something, because I want you to understand that 51 is not a prime number. Okay? It isn't. Okay? Just because a number is odd does not mean it's going to be prime. Okay? There are plenty of odd numbers that are not prime. There is only one even number that is prime. Okay? The other thing is this. The number 1 is neither prime or composite. It's neither. Because number 1 only has one factor itself. Okay? All right, now, Number 10 says 30. Number 10 says 30, and they want to know the factors and if it is prime or composite. Well, first of all, right off the bat, you know it's composite. The reason it is composite is because it's an even number. All even numbers are composite except 2. 2 is not composite because 2 only has 2 factors. Okay? So, let's look at the factors of 30. We once again know it's 1 in 30. What's 2 more factors, Quade?
2 more is 5 and 6.
Okay, 5 and 6. I'm going to put them in the middle because that's where they need to be. Lily Gonzalez. 10 and I got to have its partner.
3.
Yes. 10 and 3. Nikki. 2 and 15. Okay. So I'm going to move those last 2 because they got a little jumbled up. That's why I always try to also do mine in order. Okay, I start with 1, then I go to 2, then I go to 3, then I go to 4, then I go to 5. Okay? It is composite. So you need both of those answers for it to be correct. Okay? Now, do this one on your own. Number 17 says 54. They want you to list the factors and tell whether it is prime or composite. So before you give me your factors, you need to make sure you have 8. If you can't count to 8, then we need to have a discussion after class. Huh? One is a factor, yes. One is a factor of every single number, yes.
So if you chose to do 1, it would be every...
No, it'd just be 1, and that's it.
Oh yeah, because you said it's neither prime nor...
Yeah, it just has 1 factor. All right, let's see here. Nikki. Yep, list them out. Hang on. 1, 2, 3. Keep going. 6, 9, 18, 27, 54. That is correct. Now, that is composite. All right? So that's how we do it. Okay? Now, your homework. 3.2, 1 through 20. 3.2, 1 through 20.